took a picture of a document. Took a picture of a document that I had written up maybe, I don't know, 15 years ago, something like that. And I remember working on this in this room when it was half the size as it is now. And but I dug it up. I mean, I saw it and I go, wow, I forgot all about this. And I wanted to. It really brought me back on a concept that I thought was really neat. I was talking to you about this the other night about roles and how we play roles. And what I mean by roles is like we find ourselves as a role as somebody does acupuncture, as a role that somebody's a mother, as a role that somebody's runs an electrical business, as a role as a father, and a role as a, what do you do, Mark?
Cat daddy.
Cat wrangler.
Cat wrangler, a role as a cat wrangler. I love that. That's great. I can see the lasso, there's one over there. Let's get That's great. But these are all roles, role of a teacher or whatever this is, and these roles can change all the time, and they do. We might one moment we might be in the role of somebody driving down the freeway, and then we might be in the role of a lunatic driving down the freeway, when somebody cuts us off or something, and then we get home and we're in the role of the husband, and then the role of the father, and the role of the friend. John calls and hey, how you doing? And on and on. It's like we switch these roles all the time, and some people are really, really good at it, and some people sometimes we get tired of these roles, and it's like, I don't want to play this role anymore. Get out of here. Whatever. Things change pretty quickly. Sometimes we can play the role of somebody who wears a mask, the role of somebody that doesn't wear a mask, and all these different things that go on in life. But I wanted to read this, and then I'll talk a little bit more about it. It's a little, you have to bear with me because it's really. When I took the picture, it was in a hurry. I just clicked it, and it's kind of fuzzy here, so you have to bear with me. It's like I wish I had even more powerful glasses or something. But there was a successful actor who wished to become a director. While he was directing his first film, a fellow actor approached him and asked him how in the world did he become so proficient at directing when he knew that this was his first time as a director. The man replied that he was simply acting out the part of being the best director. His role in that time was to be the best director in the movie industry. This was an important lesson. This is an important lesson for all of us. The lesson is that we are constantly playing out our roles in life. We play so many roles that we might as well play them well, and when we do play them well, our world can change. Sorry, this is really hard to read. Oh boy, I should have read this a little bit before I got here. The greatest abundance, which is literally a Latin word meaning to overflow, is bringing the full you onto the table with every aspect of life. We can still play these roles without identifying with them, and when this does actually it frees us to play them better when this is that is with greater consciousness. So what it's saying is that if we don't identify, we want to identify with these roles, but necessarily we don't necessarily have to take them with us. Like they're not our identification. Otherwise, we don't get an opportunity to play any more roles because we're stuck in that one. We don't want to limit our rules of who and what we are, or for them to be a narrowly defined set of values that we identify with our personalities. This could tend to leave us frustrated or bored. So let's explore this with the following exercise. And the exercise that I have here, I'll just kind of tell you what I have. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 5 lines, and on one side is it's wanting particular roles that we want to play, and on the other side it says the difficulties that we might find in playing that roles. But the reason I'm reading this, and the reason I brought this up, is because if we understand this and work with it and really realize that this is the truth of what happens within our life. We walk through the doors here, and we should be playing the role of a meditator. And we can actually have the option of playing the role of being like a wonderful, great, concentrated, insightful, very mindful meditator. Not somebody that is just necessarily experimenting with meditation, but when we sit on the cushion and we dedicate these 30, 40 minutes, whatever it might be, to the practice of meditation, it's our opportunity, to really look at that as one of our roles, and one of our roles in life that can really change ourselves and ultimately change others, change the world. So that doesn't mean that we're necessarily hard on ourselves if we're going to be playing the role of a meditator. We are only human, and like all meditators, we sit in our meditation posture, and we notice that the mind wanders away, like it does for all meditators, maybe all great meditators, right? But we notice that, and when we notice that, we can give ourselves a point. We can feel like, oh, I'm here meditating. This is my role. My mind has wandered, and I'll bring it back to the breath or whatever it might be. And we do that again and again and again. Maybe we might even, as might do that 100 times during our meditation. That would be a busy half hour, but it's possible that we might do that. And so, but all of it is really, it goes back to intention. And when we really look at it and are aware of that, this being our role for the moment, maybe when we wake up in the morning and go off to work, we're not necessarily playing the role of a meditator. We might for a little bit, and then we play the next role. But as we are here, we come here for a purpose, and we are playing the role of a meditator. You mentioned yoga a little while ago, and I know I used to practice a lot. I used to go to the yoga studio every day. I don't do it anymore, but I used to. And one of the reasons that I really enjoyed it is because I kind of found the switch, and I was able to play that role as a yoga practitioner. And I came into the room, the yoga studio, and I was there for that one reason, to practice yoga. Nothing else interfered with me. I was doing it, with the intention of setting aside this. It seems like it was 50 minutes of yoga, listening to the teacher, taking the instructions, and just doing the best I could. And then after that, I was playing another role, but I would play that role every day. And that's what it really takes in order for us to really change our lives. If we want to make a habit of, really, beneficial, productive, harmonious, and moral activities, to play that role, to do it again and again, consistently, like we should do with meditation. I always have to. We're meditating, so I have to throw meditation in there. But so, with that said, I want everybody to play the role of being that meditator. That being that. Maybe you're a guru, or maybe you are playing the role of somebody that has just found that sweet spot, and this is like the deepest meditation that you could go into. Maybe you're playing a role of somebody that, it's our own personal journey. Maybe we're playing the role of somebody that is just really getting a nice taste of meditation and knows the benefits of it, and knows that sometimes we have good meditations, sometimes they might not be as deep as we'd like them to be. But whatever it is, whatever it might be for each of us, this is our role, and we should really let nothing else disturb it. And that is one of the aspects of meditation. How the mind can seemingly disturb us by going into the past and going into the future, but that is part of the role of being a meditator. Allowing that to happen and identifying it and recognizing it, and then bringing our attention back again and again. So please make yourself comfortable. I will guide us through maybe the first 10 minutes of this. Let's take a nice deep breath. Really feel it in the body. Everybody in this room has meditated many, many times. I know that. And some of you have been meditating for many, many years. Maybe all of you, actually. And there was a great Zen teacher, his name was Suzuki, that spoke of the beginner's mind and how important it is to have that beginner's mind where we don't take things for granted. We don't take our practice for granted. We don't take each individual sitting for granted. We value the time that we set aside for meditation. We value the time that we took to get here and to come in through these doors and bring our cushion or find a cushion and make ourselves comfortable and really, set aside this part of our evening for this important practice. And so like a beginner is very, very dedicated. They usually have a lot of questions. And they're really hungry for information and knowledge about the practice. And the beginner's mind has an yearning to be a meditator, to call themselves a meditator. In the beginner's mind, they're actually playing the role as a beginning meditator. somebody that's just starting out. This is something that we can never do. We can never do it again. We've all played that role before. And maybe some people that are watching this video or this stream might be beginning meditators and can relate to the beginner's mind. But many of us have been meditating for quite a while, and so we're playing a different role. We're playing the role of an educated, experienced meditator. So we know the benefits of meditation. We know that we can focus on the breath, and this breath can lead us into a peacefulness, a peace of mind. And we know that it works by allowing us to sit in the present moment, to rest in this presence. We know that the benefits of meditation are stress relief, so it's very healing. It can be very spiritual as far as our understanding of ourselves. It provides a clarity of mind. It helps with concentration and overall understanding and awareness. And so every moment spent on the cushion meditating are moments that are amplified within our everyday life. And what I mean by that is that the benefits are amplified, they're increased. Every minute on the cushion equals many, many minutes in the outer world, the world of form, that we can benefit the world in a deeper level because of this understanding. We understand ourselves through the practice of meditation, then we understand the outer world more clearly. And part of the role as a meditator is this understanding. We know this so that we practice consistently. Now, playing this role as a meditator, we might feel ourselves as a meditator. We might feel our posture, feel the straightness of the back. Might feel our hands against themselves or against on our lap. We have an erect posture like a seasoned meditator. This is part of the role. Our breathing is nice and even, nice and flowing, and deep, but not forced, not manipulated. And as the role of a seasoned meditator, we also have lots of energy. We're alert. We still notice sounds, we notice thoughts. We notice all the sensations of the body, the visualizations, feelings, but yet we don't get attached to any of it. None of it is drawing us out of this role of being a meditator. We're not drinking the Kool-Aid or following the bouncing ball. We are seasoned meditators, and this is the role that we play. And when we go into silence, we know this. We feel it and we recognize it. So as a meditator, we bring our attention to the breath, keeping the back fairly straight, maybe the chin lifted. Nice even breaths. Not manipulated, just flowing. We relax the body, feeling an easiness throughout. Relaxing the shoulders, the arms, the back, the torso. Relaxing the legs. And then we recognize the present moment. We recognize these times when the mind doesn't go into the past. It's not bothered by events that have happened or even drawn into the past. We're not daydreaming about the future. We're not fearful of the future. As a meditator, we tell ourselves that all of this can be set aside for the next 25 minutes. And just ask yourself about your role as a meditator. Are you playing that role right now? Which is a good thing. Let's bring our palms together in front of our hearts, if you like. May each one of us and all beings be well, happy, and peaceful. May no harm come to us. May no difficulties come to us. May we all meet with spiritual and worldly success. And may we have the patience, the courage, and the understanding to meet and overcome any problems or difficulties that we might face. Thank you all. So the just as a reminder, the role play is not faking it until you make it type of thing, but it's actually an attitudinal thing. Having an attitude that's what we are at that moment, and we all do it. We all play roles. You know, if you think of a politician, you know, like the roles that Donald Trump has played, you know, as a real estate tycoon, and as an I guess he was an actor for a while. He was a book writer. I mean, he had a very I think it was New York Times best-selling book. That was quite a while ago, over 20 years ago. I know that, but and of course, father and husband several times, and politician. He was kind of in a role of, you know, a politician have to sell themselves. You know, they have to be out there and say, "Hey, look at me! You know, I can do this for you," and all that. And then they're in Trump's situation. You know, he's playing the role as a president, and on and on and on. You know, and now he's. We've got another election coming up, and we don't even want to talk about that. That's way off, you know, a few months down the road. But and we are in the same boat. We probably all had different roles just today that we played. And if we take these roles serious, we can be good at them, and we can do a lot of good things, and, you know, benefit a lot of people, you know, by picking up the role. And, you know, we can do a lot of different things. Musician, you know, teacher, and, you know, all sorts of things that we can do. Now, getting back to this story, I'm going to rewrite this, by the way, so that I can read it a little bit better next time. But I believe this is such a long time ago that I found this and put it together, but I'm almost positive that the actor that is involved in this story is Clint Eastwood. That he, I can't remember the first movie he directed. I think. Might have been Unforgiven. How old is that movie? Unforgiven.
Actually, he did Any Which Way But Loose.
Was he directing that?
That was his, yeah.
Yeah.
It's at least 30 years, I think.
Yeah, that was with Gene Hackman.
He had a movie out. It wasn't very popular, but it was he actually sang on it.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that one?
He sings in a few movies now.
Yeah.
Paint Your Wagon.
Gran Torino?
No, way before that. But he was the director of that as well.
He sang the song at the end of Gran Torino.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Sure he did, yeah.
Yeah.
He plays piano, too.
Yeah.
He really likes jazz music.
Yeah. He's a big jazz guy.
Big
But
jazz.
do you remember Paint Your Wagon?
It was a musical, right?
Yeah, it was, yeah. And I think he sang in that, too. Lee Marvin.
Lee Marvin was a local. Well, he lived in Tucson.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, yeah. And he said that he drove like a 1955 old Chevy pickup, and people, whenever they saw that pickup, they knew that it was Lee Marvin. And he's always going to Home Depot, fixing up a house, working on stuff. Yeah. He died at a fairly early age. You know, he looked a lot older than he was. We're getting off the whole topic of meditation here, but how did you feel about? Did you place yourself in the role of a meditator? You know, like I'm a meditator, and did it seem to go a little bit better, or feel a little bit different?
The intention that you mentioned, I can fall into it a lot. If I have the intention of compassion, then I can fall into the meditation.
Good.
Yeah.
I went from cat wrangler to thought wrangler.
Cat wrangler to thought wrangler. You know, if you're going to be a thought wrangler, you have to know that they're there, right? I mean, you have to see them, be able to work with them. And a wrangler is one that, you know, like a cattle wrangler is catching the strays and having them settle down. Yeah. Yep. So the roles that we play are very important, and you know, I just suggest that we kind of notice what we are doing in that area, and we can really change our life. You know, if a lot of people, they're not happy with their current situation, and how do you go about changing that? You change your role. You know, it sounds a little silly, perhaps, but it's very true. You know, sometimes people go out and find different jobs, you know, they change in roles, and sometimes people, they can get into trouble in that area too. You know, they find, well, let's call it boredom, that they want to change in life. They get bored, or they drastically want to change. And they might not even realize that they're doing this, and then they find themselves getting in trouble by maybe dabbling with the wrong stuff or getting involved with the wrong people. You know, they just want something different, you know, something to be a little bit, change things up a little bit. So they might be playing the role of the bad boy or the bad girl, you know, and find themselves that, you know, I shouldn't have been playing this role. And it happens. You understand what I'm talking about. And if we apply it to our meditation and our spiritual practice, and apply it to anything moral, I mean, of course, that's better. And you know, I know that you know, Terry and I were talking the other day. We mentioned this a couple of times, but in order for somebody to awaken, and it sounds very easy, but we should be spending 51% of our time helping other people. Actually, if we're not doing that, we should really examine our life, you know, but if we can keep that in mind, that we should be helping at least spending at least 51% of our time helping others, that is a big part of waking up. And that is, you know, one of the roles that we can certainly play. The role of, whether it's healing or the role of, you know, guiding others and teaching others, or, you know, whatever it might be. Just keep that in mind. That's my advice for the evening.